this video, we're going to introduce the quotient rule. Now, the quotient rule, a bit like the product rule, is used to try and differentiate something called rational functions. Now, rational functions is something you might see in textbooks, or your teacher might say it, and actually it really used to confuse me when I used to say rational functions, and all that really means is it is a fraction. It's practically just jargon for fractions, so don't worry if you get questions saying differentiate this rational function. All that really means is it's a fraction. I don't really mean that to be patronising. It actually caught me out at the start of the course, so don't worry if you're a bit confused by what a rational function was, because I know I was. Now, how you differentiate quotient rule is, again, a bit like the product rule. You separate out the values, differentiate them independently, bring them together using the quotient rule. So let's give that a shot. So let's call the top f, and let's make it nice and red, and it's going to be the 2x minus 3, differentiate that independently, and it's going to be 2. Let's do that with the denominator and call that g, and g is going to equal our x squared minus 4x plus 5, and the g dash will equal 2x minus 4. So now we've differentiated them independently. Let's use the quotient rule. Now the quotient rule is f dash g minus f g dash all over g squared. So our next line is just to plug in the numbers. It's always quite simple. 2 times our x squared minus 4x plus 5 minus our 2x minus 3 times by 2x minus 4 all over g squared, which is going to be our x squared minus 4x plus 5, all to be squared. Now, when you're doing the quotient rule, try not to try not to take out these, try not to square this out. Try just keep this as in brackets and square. That way it makes it way easier, and you're not going to make any mistakes. You're not really expected to square this out, so don't try and do that. Just keep that as it is all the way through until the final answer. But what you do want to do is you want to try and simplify the numerator. Leave the denominator, but simplify the numerator. So let's go and give that a wee shot, because that is looking a bit too messy for my liking. So what can we do to try and simplify the numerator? Well, we can multiply this out by 2 and then just multiply these two brackets. So once you do that and you work all the way through, this might make I'll skip a couple of lines, but once you have worked through that, you'll end up getting minus 2x squared plus your 6x minus 2 all over. And remember, just keep the denominator as it is. No one's fussed if it's multiplied out or not. And there is our final answer. It's as easy as that. And what you'll do is you'll probably get a mark for knowing how to use the quotient rule. You'll probably get a mark again for actually using the quotient rule, plugging in the numbers, and you'll probably get a mark for simplifying it nice and into a nice sort of neat looking acceptable final answer. So there you go, you've got 3 marks for your quotient rule. And remember, quotient rule are used for rational functions. So whenever you see a fraction and you're asked to differentiate it, you're going to be using the quotient rule. And here are the steps of how to do that.